So we're going to start on our mat in a cross-legged position, and just take some time just to get comfy. So find your sitting bones. You might choose to have your legs outstretched or cross-legged or half lotus, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we just close our eyes for a moment and just ground ourselves in the room. Just noticing how the bones of our sitting bones are connecting with the mat. Just noticing if you're aligned, you've got equal weight between your two sitting bones. Breathing in and breathing out. And then bringing your attention to the crown of your head and imagining there is that string pulling your crown up towards the sky. Just tuck your chin slightly in, breathing in and breathing out. So today's class is to open and to align the second chakra, Svadhisthana. Translated means one's own place. And this can be found in the hips, the sacrum, the abdomen, the sexual organs, the inner thighs, the knees and the joints. And its element is water. And it's defined by a polarity, the balancing of polarities, the rooting down and the rising up, the left and the right, the front and the back, the will and the surrender. And this is where your longings, your needs, your desires arise. So we'll focus on feeling these polarities, on connecting through our bodies, through our practice today. The grounding and the rising, the left and the right, the front and the back, the will and the surrender. Okay, let's just take a lovely deep breath right down deep into our bellies, allowing our bellies to get really open and big and push right out. And then as we breathe out, just sighing it out. And again, breathing in through your nose, right deep into the base of your belly, allowing your belly just to puff out, to expand. Lovely. And then a deep sigh out. One more time. This time as deep as you can go. Breathing right into your belly. Right through your ribs, up to your chest. Hold it for a couple of seconds and then sigh it all out. Let it out. Lovely. And now we're going to move to the mat. So we're going to lie on our backs, bringing our feet in front of our sitting bones. Knees about hip distance apart. And again, just grounding through the mat now, just feeling your shoulders, maybe wriggling your shoulders to connect a little further. Wriggling your hips, noticing where you connect and where you don't. And we're going to maybe put your hands on your pelvis, just below your belly. And we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe in, we're going to imagine just pushing our tailbone into the mat, so it almost accentuates that gap in the back. So just gently pushing the tailbone into the mat, and as we breathe out, we push through both our feet so that actually our pelvis tips slightly and the lower back completely connects with the mat. And again, breathing in, just pushing into that tailbone, to the tip of your tailbone. So your back starts to arch, and then breathing out, pushing through your feet, connecting completely with the mat. Just checking your chin, making sure you're not jutting it out. And again, breathing in, feeling that rock all the way down to the tip of your spine. And breathing out, rolling, feeling the tuck under of the pelvis. Breathing in, And continue to do this in your own time. Really noticing all the tiny vertebrae just in this very small part of your spine. Rocking and rolling and just sort of undulating against the mat. Bringing all your attention to your spine. Oh, sorry, I didn't say to start your playlist, but hopefully you will now if you haven't. Okay, bring your feet mat distance apart. We're just going to windscreen work. So drop our knees to one side and then drop our knees to the other. Just gently moving through the very base of our spine again. Feeling that twist. Noticing how our hip flexors feel at the front of our legs. Noticing how our hips feel, whether we have tightness. Noticing how the back responds to this movement. Breathing in and out through your nose. Really lovely. And then coming back to the centre and just bringing your knees in towards you and just having a little hug. And just really gentle. Really listening to our bodies. Just rolling slowly, making circles in the ceiling with our knees. Rolling one way and rolling the other. Or just holding on to a hug of the knees if that feels better. But listening to your body and what feels right for you. Maybe separating your knees if that feels like something that would help. But listening to your body, making the movements just to massage that lower spine. Now we move into Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and let our knees drop out either side. And this might, if this doesn't feel comfortable, you can put a cushion just underneath your knees or sort of right into your hips to support it if it feels uncomfortable. But you want to kind of connect with the soles of your feet, so you're not just kind of allowing everything to drop out and collapse. You're sort of pushing through the soles of your feet to create almost a tension and an engagement of the inner thigh and supporting the hips and the lower back. But again, using your breath. So we're going to breathe in and sort of push into the soles of our feet. And as we breathe out, we're going to just allow our hips and our knees to open a little further. So breathing in, push into the soles of the feet, maybe the knees come up slightly. Breathing out, allowing the stretch to deepen. Just continuing to use your breath. This is so good for the reproductive health, this movement. Really nice, moving in. And then from there we're going to go into our happy baby. So we bring our feet above our shoulders really, and our knees really bent. We're going to grab hold of the outside blade of our foot. So holding onto the outside blade of your foot, really bending your knees deeply. And from here, just kind of rocking. It's called happy baby because, you know, babies like to hold onto their feet and just play around and rock and roll. So again, using the movements, listening to what feels right for your body. Allow yourself maybe to rock from one side or the other, or maybe slightly rock backwards and forwards. But again, you get this lovely massage in the lower back. And really breathing, using our breath. If something feels good, just rocking back and forth there, maybe for a moment. Stretching out one leg and then stretching out the other. And so from there we're going to drop the left foot down onto the mat, knee bent, and then the right ankle we're going to cross over the knee. So we've got that figure of 4. Before we move, we just want to make sure our hips are even, that we've got lovely straight hips. And then we're just going to track that right knee back towards the mat so that we're pushing that knee away almost. And then if we feel that might be enough of a stretch for you, but otherwise we're going to bring the left knee towards us, grab behind the back of the left knee, and then you can again just play around and see what feels right. Either you can keep your left leg bent or you can straighten your left leg. But whatever happens, you need to make sure your hands aren't on the back of your knee. You want it below your knee. And then again, using that breath. So as we breathe in, we might use our elbow to sort of push the right knee away slightly. And as we breathe out, we lengthen again through. Bring the knee towards us, the left knee towards us. Feel that deep stretch in our right hip. And then keep using the breath. Maybe playing around with having that leg straight or having it bent. Sometimes having it bent you can get a bit more purchase for a stretch. Use that breath. Keep thinking of the right knee moving away from you. Really nice. And then let's bring both feet back down to the mat. Leave the right foot on the mat with the knee bent, and then crossing the left ankle across the right. Take a minute just to track that left knee away. Take a minute to look at your hips and make sure that they're straight. Take a moment as well just to notice how this side feels compared to the other. Then we're going to breathe in, and then as we breathe out, taking that foot off the mat, grabbing behind the back of the right leg. And then just try and track then your right hip back on the mat. You might have sort of moved towards the left hand side, but make sure that right hip is still connected with the mat. And then once again, using the breath, the in-breath to sort of push the left knee away, and the out-breath to pull the right thigh towards you. Track that hip as well, the right hip back on the mat. Everything's about the alignment. Thinking about every part of our body. Two more breaths here. Bring that thigh towards you. Increase the stretch as it releases. Lovely. And then we're going to bring our feet back down to the mat. And we're going to move our right foot away from us. So our right foot, our right leg is now straight on the mat. And then our left sole of our foot is going to be placed above our knee on our right thigh. And then with your right hand, you can grab hold of the left knee and just put it across you towards the mat. So you're twisting the left knee across your body and towards the right hand side. And just staying with where it feels right. You can bring your left arm, you can bring it almost like to a T to the side of you. But you want to think about that, keeping the connection of your shoulder blades on the mat whilst also pulling the right knee across you. Lovely deep twist. So good for our internal organs, for our digestion and detoxification. Really good. One more breath here. Really use the out breath just to come as far across as you can. And then coming back to the centre. Swapping legs over, so bending the right knee, straightening out the left leg along the mat. Take a minute just to realign yourself, make sure you're nice and centred. And then with that, bringing the sole of the foot above the knee. And then with the left hand, pulling the right knee across your body. The right arm out to the side. And feeling that deep, wonderful stretch. Does that feel good, Alice?
So good.
Really so lovely for that lower spine. And all this opening we're doing now is preparing our body for the other postures that we move on to. And when we move on to those, we'll have lovely open chakra, lovely open hips, open and aligned. Use that breath. The in-breath to send it to where it feels tight, and the out-breath just to release. Really good. And then coming all the way back to the centre. And this next move, you might want to just get into a position where you're not craning your neck and hurting, but a comfortable position to watch me do it first. It's something we haven't done before, and it's really fun, but we need to kind of be really controlled in the way we do it. So we're going to start with our feet in the air and our legs apart. And I'm going to begin by just moving my right foot towards the mat. And as I move the right foot towards the mat, I allow the left leg to come with me, but I'm really controlling it as I do. And then the left leg is going to come all the way over to meet the right leg. From here, you're going to breathe, realign, and then slowly bring the left leg back up. And then there's a certain point where the left leg gets to, and the right leg just can't help but start to engage and get involved. And so then we allow the right leg to come all the way across, meet with the left leg, breathe into a line, and then we start again. So let's all start on our backs with our legs in the air, akimbo, and slightly apart, so on diagonals. Really nice. And then from there, you might want to just bring your arms up to a T, so you've got that anchoring of the arms. And really listen to your back, listen to your body, obviously if we do this, but let's move really slowly. We're going to move the right leg slowly towards the mat. And allow the left leg just starts to come along with it. And then when the right leg gets to the mat, allow the left leg come to meet it on the floor. Take a breath in here, align your feet, align your legs. And then slowly bring the left foot up now, bring it across the body. And then there's just that little spot where it's a little bit of effort, but if you do it really slowly and gently, it kind of almost happens without you meaning to. That right inner thigh engages. And then we come all the way over. And then breathing there. And then carry on with a few more of those in your own time. I'm just going to come and have a quick look and check you're safe. Really lovely and controlled. That's it. Nice soft knee as you go. And then when you're over on the left hand side, or next side, when you're both feet next to each other, roll all the way onto your left hand side. Really lovely control, everybody, really good. And then we're all going to meet in this cross-legged position. And we're going to be doing Baddha Konasana. We did Supta Baddha Konasana, and now we're doing Baddha Konasana, which is cobbler pose, where we put the soles of our feet together. We take a minute just to find our sitting bones. We need to engage that crown of our head, just tucking our chin slightly in. And for a minute, just sitting here and breathing. And this might be enough. Using the in-breath to ground down, to draw up those nutrients. Using the out-breath to extend through the crown and find length. If that feels comfortable enough and you feel like you like to go a little further, we just start to humble it, to come forward. And again, using the crown of your head is bringing you forward, not your chest. So coming forward, really finding length in between the vertebrae at the very base of your spine. You can use your hands as a little bit of purchase just to move forward, but don't push yourself. Do it really gently. Just nod and shake your head. Make sure you're not gauging your neck muscles. Use your breath. In breath to find that length. Out breath to move forwards. Fabulous. And then we're going to come back up to sitting position. We're going to stretch our legs out in a diagonal in front of us. Just check those sitting bones are connected. Check you've got the alignment of your crown. And then again, from here, we can either just stay here. We want our toes pointing upwards. Breathing in. And then as we breathe out, we can just move forward. But I can't go very far, so really listen to your body. Keep using that in-breath to think about the crown, that extension from the base of your spine, lengthening your spine, not curling forward. 3 more breaths here. And obviously if you go a little too far, then come back up. There's no shame in that. Just really listening to your body. You know, and also you don't want to hang out and not stretch yourself further. So, you know, you might go too far by it. So just walk yourself back up. Use that crown. And sometimes you might not even go forward at all. You might just find length, and that's enough. Really good. And then we're going to come back up. We're going to tuck our knees under and come into a tabletop to start off with. So knees underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders. In fact, I need a little cat-cow, so let's add that in. So we're going to then tuck under our tailbones, drop our heads, push through our hands into our angry cat. Just nod and shake the neck gently. And then breathing in, dropping the tummy, looking just ahead of you, shoulders away from ears. And then move through your cat-cow, listening to your body, listening to your breath. Bringing that visualization to the spine. Lovely. And then from there we're going to come back to a neutral spine and we're going to step the right foot between our hands. We've done it so many times before, but we're just going to then move backwards and forwards, listening to our bodies, warming up the hips, warming up the fronts and the backs of the thighs. And when we come back, maybe just take a minute to get a little bit of length in those lower vertebrae and then move forward. And if your knees are crunchy, just taking the pressure off as you move over your knee. Super. And then when we're at the front the next time, we're going to come into our low lunge, but bring our arms above our heads, shoulders away from ears. Tuck that tailbone under, making sure we've got our sort of railway tracks, not a tightrope, so we've got a lovely strong spine. Push into that front foot and sort of pull the left knee away, that traction between the front and the back. If you want to go a little further, you can tuck that back foot in and come up into a high lunge. But really use those feet, pull and push away so you've got a lovely strong base. We'll just stay here. 2 more breaths. Fabulous. And then come down, bring your hands either side of that foot. Bring that foot back. And we're going to swap over to the other side. Just moving gently to start off with, slowly listening to our bodies. Really lovely. Excellent. Really good positioning, everyone. Thinking about your shoulders, rolling those shoulders back away from our ears. This time we're going to come up. Lift the toes of the left foot at the front. Lift the toes, separate them and connect them with the mat. Think about 4 corners of your feet all connected with the mat. Think about that traction between the push and the pull. You want to tuck that back foot under and come up, then do. Then tuck your pelvis under. Tuck your pelvis under, protect that lower back. Good. Push and pull. Nice strong base. 2 more breaths. Then come back down to the mat. And then you might want to just come into a comfortable position so I can show you the next 2 postures. We're going to come into the same position, and then let's see if I can do it. It's a balance, so it's a bit wobbly to start off with. Whoop. You're going to grab hold of your ankle at the back, and with your forefinger and your thumb you're going to create this mudra, this hand gesture, and you just rest it on top of your knee. Okay, so let's all come into a lunge position, a lower lunge position. I'm really thinking about that train track now, possibly bringing your right foot out a little bit further. And then just take a moment to get your balance, and then you're just going to bend that leg up and grab hold of your ankle. That's it. You can always keep your front arm forward. Yeah. Whoop. You really need that front foot to all connect with the mat. Really good. It's a lovely stretch through the hip flexor. Fabulous. And then we come down. Oh, did you hear my knee? And then we're going to bring our hands inside the front foot. And if you can, come down onto your forearms. But if you can't, that's fine. And then we're going to just sort of come onto the outside edge of our right foot so that our knee comes out like a frog almost. And this is our lizard pose. So you're just tipping your right foot out. So you're on the blade edge of the outside edge of your foot. You're stretching through the hips. Lovely. Let's come back up. Gently bring that knee back. And then we swap over to the other side. So first of all, coming into your balance. So lift up those front toes, connect them with the mat. Then just taking a moment, grabbing hold of that ankle. Bring your shoulders away from your ears. Add your mudra. Tuck your hips under. Breathe. Two more breaths. Lovely. Coming down to the mat. We're going to bring our arms inside our front foot. If you can, maybe coming down onto your forearms, maybe not. And then tipping that left edge of the foot, the outside edge of the foot, so that your hip moves outwards and then coming down to the mat. Maybe you might need to move your right leg back further. Breathe. Coming back up onto your hands, very carefully. And then we're going to bring our knees as wide as the mat and our toes together. Bring our hips back for our child pose. Maybe have a wriggle. Lovely. And then we're going to come forward into a hanging cobra. So we're going to bring our weight forward onto our arms and then bend our knees so our toes come up. So we're pushing through. It's almost like an upward dog, but we're off the mat and we're bending our knees up. And you see, that helps. Sorry, it's quite hard to explain this one actually. And then we're going to come back into our child's pose. So walk our hands back into our child's pose and then walking our hands forward again and coming back into our hanging cobra. The hanging cobra is the masculine and the child's pose is the feminine. One more of each of those. And then we're going to come into our downward dog. So tucking our toes under, lifting our sitting bones up, connecting our whole hand, our palms to the mat. Let's walk those feet out. Really stretch through each leg, all the way down the back of the leg. Ooh. And then finding some stillness. So finding balance, making sure our knees are soft, our sitting bones are lifted. Breathe. Let's have 2 more breaths here. And from there we're going to bring our left foot in the middle of our mat and we're going to bring our right foot off the mat behind us into our 3-legged dog. And from our 3-legged dog we're going to bring our knee all the way towards our nose and then we're going to bring our knee down to the mat. So we've got our bent knee at the back, bent knee at the front. And then we might need to walk our left leg a little further back so that we come into our pigeon pose. And just take a minute to bring your attention to your hips. How are your hips? Are they centered? Are they even? How does the lower back feel? How do the glutes feel? How's your breath? How's your mind? And if it feels comfortable, maybe just walking our hands slowly forward, humbling our pigeon, bringing our head towards the ground. But if that's too much, just walking our hands back up again, listening to our body, listening to our hips. Surrendering to the pose. So much emotion is locked in our hips and our pelvis, and these poses are just so good for opening them up and releasing. Really lovely focus, everyone. Just gently walking your hands back up towards you. Tucking under the back foot. Lifting through those sitting bones, coming back into your three-legged dog. Back into the three-legged dog, and then bringing your foot down and back into a full downward dog. Maybe pedaling out, seeing what feels right. And then we move on to the other side. So right foot in the center of your mat, lifting the left foot off the mat and into your three-legged dog, keeping your hips nice and even, centered, aligned. And then bringing knee to nose all the way forward. Bring that knee between the hands. And then we can just allow the right foot now just to move back slightly to get into a comfortable position. Sometimes it can be comfortable to move flesh away from your calf. If you sort of pull your calf away, it can make it more comfortable to get into this position. And have a wriggle of those hips. Make sure you've got lovely straight hips. You're evenly weighted on both sides. Think of the crown of your head, shoulders away from ears, maybe a little nod and shake of the neck. Using the out breath just to surrender. And if it feels comfortable, just gently walking the hands, maybe just onto the forearms is enough. Maybe coming further down. But again, maybe if you go too far, easily done, we all do it. Just have the humble intention of coming back up, listening to your body, doing what's right for you right now. One more breath in and a real sigh out to surrender one last time to that pose. Lovely. And then we're going to walk our hands back up. Actually, we're going to now drop our left hip towards the mat and we're going to bring our right foot over the top of our left knee. So now we're ready for a twist. Really good. Again, think about your sitting bones, that connection with the mat now that we've moved. Think about the crown of your head. You want the sole of this foot on the mat as best you can. And we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, we can either hug our arm around the knee, or we can take our elbow on the outside of that knee. We're going to breathe in to find that crown, to find that lift, to find the length. Check your chin. And then we're going to breathe out to gently twist round. First twist, not too far, just gentle. Use the breath. Every time you breathe in, find the length. Every time you breathe out, just move a little further. Even if you don't twist further, have a feeling of space. Have a feeling of wringing out of those internal organs. Maybe have a big exhalation through your mouth for one last twist. Really nice. And then come back down to the center. Okay, we're going to do our little trick. So we're going to keep our feet exactly where they are. Okay? So don't think about this. If you haven't done this before, then maybe just watch first. We're going to keep our feet exactly where they are. We're going to come off our sitting bones. We're going to come up. I'm going to walk my hands all the way around the mat, allowing my feet to walk with me. And then hopefully come to the other side without having to change your legs. Well done, Alice.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Did you make it, Ali? Yeah? Brilliant. Really, it's hard. You have to. It's a hard one to not think about and just do, but it's a good one for the brain as much as the body. Right. Check your chin's not jutting out. Just tuck your chin in. Crown lifting up. Rounding through. Take a nourishing breath, bringing breath from the ground through the sitting bones all the way up through your body. And then as you breathe out, either hug your knee or bring your elbow to the outside of your knee and bring your body round. Again, breathing in, find length through the crown. Breathing out, allow your body to move gently round. Visualize the spine. Visualize those internal organs being wrung of their toxins. That's it. And then we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, just sigh and just exhale it all out, all that bad energy. One more. Lovely. Then coming back to the center. Well done, guys. You've done the hard work. We're going to bring our feet to the front of the mat, knees bent, sitting bones connected. Going to find length in the crown, breathing in, and as we breathe out, holding that big beach ball and just tipping our pelvis under and coming into a lovely C shape in our spine. Again, breathing in, finding length, straightening through the spine. Breathing out, tucking under, curling the spine, tuck the chin under. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more. This time find that sweet spot and we're going to hold it for 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Can we do 4? Go on, one more. 4. Curling 1 vertebra at a time all the way back down to the mat. Well done, everyone. Stretch through your body. From your fingers to your toes. Wriggle your hips. Give your tummy a nice stretch. Maybe push through your heels one after the other to walk the hips a little. And then we're going to just walk our feet towards the left-hand side, keeping all of our back connected to the mat. We're going to walk our arms to the left-hand side. So now our body's in a big banana shape. We're going to breathe into the sides of our body. And we're going to breathe out. We're going to breathe into where that tightness is right on the side of our body. And as we breathe out, we're going to think about the connection of our shoulder blades with the mat. Breathing in, lengthening. Breathing out, releasing, letting go. If you want to, you can hook the right ankle over the left ankle and grab hold of the right wrist just to increase the stretch a little further. Really nice. And coming back down, back to the centre. And then we're going to walk the feet over to the right hand side. Walk the arms over to the right hand side. take a moment here before you cross anything over or grab hold of anything. Just notice how this side feels compared to the other. And then if it feels comfortable, crossing that left foot over that right ankle, grabbing hold of the left wrist and just increasing the stretch a little further. Really connecting the 2 points of the sitting bones on the mat and the shoulder blades. Really lovely. Coming back to the centre. From there we're going to bring our feet above our hips and our arms above our shoulders in gravity pose. And just rotate our ankles and our wrists. And bringing your knees into your chest. Give them a lovely hug. Maybe bring your head off the mat and really hugging in tight. Or just hugging with your own head on the mat. Whatever feels comfortable. And we'll just take a few rotations. Just a gentle massage of that lower back. We're going to go back into our Supta Baddha with our soles of our feet together and our knees open. We're just going to rest here this time. Our arms either side of our body. Just breathing into the pelvis, using the out breath just to allow your body to surrender. If it feels uncomfortable, bringing 2 cushions either side of your hips to support can be a nice relaxing way to end. Really breathing deep into the belly. Noticing your breath, how it is compared to the beginning of the lesson. Has it started to steady? Are you breathing deeper? Is your nervous system feeling a little rested? Can you feel the release of any energy through warmth or tingles, sometimes through coldness? Can you feel how you've opened all the pelvis area, the very lower back, the sacrum? Feel the openness. And we're going to gently bring our knees back together. And move into our Shavasana. So, finding a blanket if you've got one, I hope. Stretching your feet out into corpse pose. Bring your arms either side of you if it feels comfortable. Making those last movements that you need to make to feel as comfortable as you can possibly feel. If it's one last roll of the lower back, or stretch, or a scratch. Doing everything you need to surrender to your final relaxation, a reward for all your hard work today. And take a gentle, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Become aware of the flow of your breathing. Begin to slow down your breathing. Gently, slowly, easily. On the next in-breath, hold the inhalation for 3 seconds. Then exhale. As you exhale, release any unnecessary tension and tightness in the muscles. Allow each exhalation to loosen and soften the muscles. Take some time to let go of it all. To let go of all your cares and worries. Nothing matters at this moment. This is your time. No one else's, but yours. Time for you to let go and relax. To allow your mind to become still and calm. Move your attention to your forehead. Allow the muscles to become loose and relaxed. As you do so, your entire body melts a little deeper into the floor. Become aware of the little muscles behind your eyes. Relax those muscles. Now move your attention into the cheeks. Loosen the cheek muscles and become relaxed. Next, loosen the jaw, relaxed and content. Notice how you start to enjoy this easy, peaceful feeling. Feeling calm and content, warm and comfortable. Move your attention to your neck, loosening the muscles, relaxing, softening. Now down into the shoulders, loose, relaxed and content. Down to the arms, relaxed, into the fingers, you may notice that you feel heavier. This means your muscles are relaxing. Enjoy the heaviness, welcome it, accept it. Slowly bring your attention to your toes, to your fingertips. Starting to bring a little movement to them. As your body comes back into the room. Now making the movements, either stretching through your body or hugging your knees in. Just start to slowly make some movement. Take your time. When you're ready, we'll all meet back in a seated position, but take some time on your side before you get here. Make sure you roll onto your side and just breathe a few breaths just lying on your side before you sit up. No rush. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Raise your crown one last time. As we bring our hands to our head to encourage kind thoughts. To our lips to encourage kind words. And our hearts to encourage kind intentions. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Please unmute yourselves.